In the heart of the African savanna, amid a standoff between a lone man and a pride of fierce lions, an unexpected roar cracks the tension. Ivory, the saved elephant, charges in, morphing fear into awe. Will this unbreakable bond alter the course of fate? But what happened next will shock even those who thought they'd seen everything. But first, let's go back to the beginning. Ethan had always harbored a profound connection with nature, a calling that drew him far from the sterile landscapes of urban sprawls to the wild, untamed heart of Africa. His life in the city had been a cocoon of predictability, yet his mind roamed among the great savannas, where the lives of magnificent creatures unfolded in rhythms unfettered by human constraints. His love for elephants was not merely an admiration of their grandeur. It was a fierce commitment to their survival, a cause ignited by stories of their dwindling numbers, butchered by poachers or trapped by natural predicaments. Setting foot on African soil for the first time, Ethan sensed the terrain throbbing with life, each rustle and distant call resonating through the warm air like an orchestra of instinct. His heart pounded with anticipation, yet it cradled an underlying apprehension, a fear for the creatures he was devoted to protecting. It was not merely the desire for adventure. It was a pilgrimage fueled by purpose, a quest to witness and understand the delicate dance of existence where tooth and claw held sway. His days were spent on the trail of mighty herds, capturing their essence through the lenses of his camera, cataloging their grace, majesty, and the deeply embedded wisdom in their eyes. Yet amid the serenity lay inevitable dangers, voices of nature louder and more potent than anything conjured in his city-bound life. It was during these explorations that Ethan heard the ominous roar of lions intertwined with the desperate, trumpeting call of an elephant, a sound that was both a plea and a command, reverberating through the fibers of his being. Instantly alert, Ethan sprinted through the dense foliage, his pulses syncing with the urgency of the moment. Each step was heavy with the knowledge that he was advancing towards potential danger, yet his compassion rendered fear obsolete. Bursting onto the scene, Ethan's heart seized at the sight before him, a magnificent elephant, later named Ivory for the sweep of his tusks, cornered and vulnerable under the scrutiny of a pride of lions, their primal hunger evident in their poised bodies. In that critical juncture, Ethan's instinct and knowledge fused into action. He roared, clapped, and waved his arms in broad strokes, a calculated performance inspired not by recklessness, but understanding, a harmonious discord that both commanded attention and sowed confusion among the predators. The lions hesitated, momentarily disrupted by the unexpected human intervention, their eyes flicking between man and beast. As if grasping the fleeting opportunity, Ivory, with all the dignity of his kind, trumpeted his defiance and broke free from the circle of peril. Ethan watched, tension halting his breath until the last lion's tail disappeared into the underbrush. And in that silent aftermath, as the dust settled around him, shock finally gave way to the realization of victory and the delicate weave of survival they had both touched. He had come seeking a story of elephants, yet in those harrowing minutes, he had become a part of one, a narrative raw and real, etched into the fabric of his soul. As the dust settled and the air grew still, Ethan found himself in a rare moment suspended between human impulse and the infinite resilience of nature. The adrenaline that had fueled his daring rescue now ebbed, replaced by a warmth radiating from within, a compassion deep and profound, reflecting the world he so passionately loved. There, standing before him, was Ivory, a creature of majesty and grace, steeled by the wilderness, yet visibly shaken. Each subtle twitch of his ears and the gentle sway of his great body bore testament to the trauma of the encounter with the lions. But the regal poise remained intact, an embodiment of resilience. Ivory's immense brown eyes, wide and brimming with intelligence, met Ethan's own with an unwavering gaze. It was as if time stretched between them, tethering their souls in a silent exchange of gratitude and shared relief. The elephant's pause spoke volumes more than any roar or trumpet ever could, a solemn acknowledgement of the courage one musters when driven by the thread of compassion that connects all living beings. This was a moment that transcended the habitual narratives of prey and predator. It was humanity standing shoulder to shoulder with nature. Moving forward cautiously, Ethan approached Ivory, reaching out with hands now steady, no longer trembling with urgency but instead directed by purpose and care. He examined the tears in Ivory's thick, leathery hide, the superficial reminders of the peril they just faced. In this task, Ethan found a certain meditative focus, each touch a testament to his intent to heal, each gesture an offering of peace. As his fingers traced along the scars, he felt the salt of his perspiration mix with the earthy dust, a blend symbolic of the fragile symbiosis between man and beast. Meanwhile, whispers of the encounter echoed through the camp like the soft rustling of leaves caught in the evening's breeze. The tale of Ethan's valor spread rapidly, bringing a renewed sense of camaraderie and community. His fellow travelers and guides gathered in hushed circles, their faces a tapestry of awe and newfound respect. Ethan, the quiet observer turned reluctant hero, became a beacon of hope and caretaker, roles he hadn't anticipated but now embraced almost instinctively. Their eyes, bright with admiration, reflected a narrative of protection and empathy, a narrative sparked by his courage and solidified by Ivory's return gesture of trust. Under the sprawling African sky, Ethan stood alongside his peers, humbled and exhilarated by the burgeoning responsibility that wrapped around his heart. It was the dawn of awareness, a clear, resounding call to cherish and protect, to be a custodian of life's delicate dance. This guardian role demanded not only bravery, but the profound understanding that every life echoing across the savannah's vast expanse holds immeasurable value, deserving of protection and kindness. The morning sun rose over the African savannah, casting long shadows that stretched like fingers across the golden grass. Ethan stood among the thorn trees with his group, the awe of yesterday's experience still etched on his face. They had left camp with a sense of cautious optimism, the memory of Ivory's silent gratitude imprinted in their minds. Each step was a reminder of the fragile balance between awe and peril in the wild. As they trekked deeper into the thicket, the jungle's chorus surrounded them, a symphony of rustling leaves and distant calls, each sound an unseen presence in their journey. An hour into their walk, a sudden stillness befell the group, a silence so profound that it seemed to absorb the ambient noise, leaving only the sound of their cautious breaths. Ahead, emerging from the tall grass, the lions appeared, their majestic forms both beautiful and menacing. The pride, led by a massive male with an impressive dark mane, moved with the regal grace born only of nature's apex predators. Their eyes mirrored the wilderness, unforgiving and untamed. Fear clawed up Ethan's spine, a visceral reaction to their presence. The guides whispered amongst themselves, their voices trembling with telltale signs of anxiety, knowing all too well the danger posed by an encounter with such magnificent creatures. The path, once a simple trail worn into the savannah, was now a barrier ruled by instincts and primal power. Ethan's pulse quickened as the pride halted, blocking their path with an air of possessive authority. Time seemed to slow, every second stretching into eternity as choices and consequences weighed heavily. Fear sparked anger, a reflexive surge against their apparent helplessness. As the tension tightened, despair coiled in the pit of his stomach, a lurking shadow threatening to consume courage entirely. In that precise moment of mounting dread, An unexpected sound cut through the dense atmosphere, a clarion call, deep and resonant. From the underbrush, Ivory emerged, as if called by an unspoken bond. The elephant was a titan among beasts, every step deliberate, and every gaze commanding respect. His trunk raised above his head, Ivory trumpeted again, the sound reverberating through the air like a maestro conducting an orchestra of silence. The lions, initially defiant, paused in their advance, confronted with the undeniable presence of Ivory. Their predatory stares shifted from menacing to reflective, a testament to the unspoken communication between the kings of the savannah. Slowly, the pride retreated, the lion's formidable aura yielding to the gentle giant's unwavering resolve. The path to safety cleared, leaving Ethan and his companions dumbfounded by the remarkable display of nature's unexpected diplomacy. Relief washed over them, a cleansing tide that turned fear into an exuberant rush of gratitude. Ethan caught Ivory's eye in that fleeting moment. A silent acknowledgement sealed their bond, a testament to the compassion and courage that binds the guardians of the wild against the unpredictabilities of life. As the group moved onward, their steps lighter than before, Ivory stood sentinel, his silhouette casting a long shadow of protection across the land. Ethan stood at the arrival terminal, his senses overwhelmed by the familiar yet newly perceived world around him. It was as though each sight, sound, and scent carried an undertone that he had never noticed before. The vibrant chaos of the airport felt contrastingly ordered to him now, as if the clamor of city life was merely a distant hum compared to the raw symphony of the savannah that still echoed in his mind. His outward appearance bore the remnants of his adventures, sun-kissed skin and a restrained yet spirited sparkle in his eyes. But it was the internal transformation that painted the true picture of his return. With each step towards home, Ethan was enveloped by introspective silence, juxtaposed by bursts of excitement as he replayed the episodes of his journey. The memories etched deep into his consciousness were not just of thrilling pursuits and pristine landscapes, but of connection, camaraderie, and an exchange of trust that transcended the boundaries of man and beast. Ivory, the magnificent elephant whose life he had saved, remained a poignant symbol of this bond. In the simplicity of trust shared with a creature so profoundly rooted in its natural world, Ethan found the complexities of human life stripped away, leaving only the essential truth of empathy and resilience. The house was exactly as he had left it, an orderly collection of the mundane, seemingly unchanged. Yet, it all felt vividly different to Ethan, who now saw himself not merely as a passive observer of life, but an active custodian of its wild beauty. Sitting at his desk, he began to draft his experiences, words flowing effortlessly as he recounted the incredible tale of Ivory. Each sentence was imbued with an undercurrent of urgency and passion, a call to action for anyone willing to listen. In the way Ivory stood against the lions, Ethan saw a reflection of the courage required to protect the world's dwindling wildlife, a charge to inspire those around him. The narrative he composed transcended mere storytelling. It was a manifesto for kindred spirits who understood that their existence was inextricably linked with the earth and its wondrous inhabitants. He envisaged his accounts sparking movements, lighting fires in hearts grown weary and indifferent. The tales of his encounter became tools, used skillfully and with intent, to advocate for preservation, for a world where future generations could also hope to capture a glimpse of untainted wildness and feel its pulse echo in their veins. In every conversation and interaction, Ethan's words carried the gravitas of someone who had glimpsed the sublime and was left irrevocably altered. Ivory's memory propelled him forward, a lodestar guiding him through his advocacy, reinforcing the notion that in nature's embrace, where shadows of danger danced with the light of salvation, real alliances formed, a truth more enduring than the written word.